Hi, everyone. I'm Miguel Lopez. I'm a historian of the Second World War, and I've been meaning to introduce myself formally by introducing a new category for my YouTube channel, A History of the World Wars. I felt the category needed a human touch to it, so I was going to record myself speaking about it. But I also wanted to give my historical perspective on current events and considering what's happened in the last 36 hours, it's probably better now than ever to actually say something. Um, Obviously, everybody is likely aware that the judge in charge of the case against Donald Trump and his alleged attempts to overthrow the free and fair elections of 2020, leading to January 6th. That's all over the news. Hopefully, everybody's wrapping their arms around it from a credible news source. And what I just kind of wanted to share my historical perspective of January 6th and what I sensed from it as I watched it live. And so, as a historian of the Second World War, my focus, my interest is the Eastern Front. So, the Third Reich versus the Soviet Union, the Holocaust that was involved in the Eastern Front. You cannot separate those two, but also it's going to involve the Third Reich, its rise, how it gained power. So that it's all intertwined, and you study that as you become interested in the Second World War. And so one of the event that reminded me of when I was watching January 6th, and I wrote it down in my journal a little bit later, was um, the failed coup attempt in 1923, known as the Beer Hall Putsch by Hitler and his followers. That is the thread. That is the rhyme that I sensed from the failed insurrection of January 6th. And I wrote it down in my journal, and a couple days after that, I'll read it to you here so that I'm not doing revisionist history. So let me pull it up here for a second. And this is what I wrote on the date was 14 January of 2021. Quote, of all the comparisons to the Weimar Republic, I see parallels with the failed 1923 beer hall putsch by Hitler and the Nazis. As an article by historian Michael Brenner in the Sanford Advocate relates, he also sees a connection with the failed putsch, but adds that it was just the beginning of turbulent times for the Weimar. And if the US is not vigilant, so too will the US go through difficulty against extremist groups. End quote. And I felt the same thing. I interpreted the same thing on January 6th, that considering that the failed coup in 1923 allowed Hitler to um, present himself as a national figure. And eventually, of course, he was given the seat of chancellor in 1933 by conservatives, thinking they can control him. I sense those patterns, and I've sensed those patterns with, from my historical perspective, with the MAGA movement and Trump's version of the Republican Party. It's not the same Republican Party that I grew up with and that I voted for in my younger years. So I just want to give that perspective that I see uh, these rhymes, historical rhymes with fascism in the current iteration of the MAGA movement. And the fact that this dossier came out, or this report came out, detailing in excruciating detail Trump's attempt to overthrow or prevent the people transfer power. Then today, on the Judge Report, I'm talking now at 14:21 Central Time, that JD Vance admitted on video, somebody was recording him, that Trump won the 2020 election. And Vance would not answer the question, if they lost in 2024, would they concede the election? He just walked away and just kind of brushed it off. We're going to have different opinions on policy. That's standard in this country and everywhere else. But to disregard the rule of law and the Constitution and its principles just because you lost, I don't know what is more un-American than that. And that is what I'm worried about. I see these threads of the Weimar Republic that was undermined and undercut by extremist groups that refuse to follow the rule of law and to manipulate the law to their own purposes. So I hope that's been helpful, and hopefully I'll get to do this a little bit more. So I don't have a cool T-shirt to close that biblical scholar Dan McClellan has. So, but I did want to share a book. I put it here to the side that maybe might be a little bit helpful to dig your toes in the pool. It's it's Nazi Germany Confronting the Myths by Catherine Epstein, and it's a short introduction confronting the myths about the Third Reich and the Nazis. And the first chapter talks about Germany before 1933. So you'll get into the Weimar Republic with that. So pick up a copy. I use it, in some of my studies. So appreciate your viewership. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you soon.